All right, this is Rob Lagan with 1980s sports cards, and we have something special today. We have 16 1984 Topps Darryl Strawberry rookies and O-Pee-Chee. And I picked all 16 of these up on eBay, I think for a pretty good deal, $210. And I think there's some in here that are pretty good condition and worth grading. So this is probably going to be more of a lesson learned. I'm going to get my butt kicked, but it's going to be fun trying. I want to go through here and see which ones are worth grading, which would be ones I think are going to make a 9 or a 10. I know that's a high bar to cross considering, well, these are low population and they have a really low gem rate, about 5% gem rate on the 10s. Although to get an 8 or a 9, it's a lot higher, about a 90% chance to get an 8 or a 9 if you think they're really good condition when you send them in. Unfortunately, the price drops a lot. There's even in a PSA 9, these are only about a $40 card and drop off more for an 8. But if you hit a home run, like Darryl Strawberry would, and get a 10, which is 5% gem rate, I think this car, even though the last market comps in 2024 were like $1,200, I think now with the upswing in 80s cards, I think this is potentially going to be a $1,500 to $2,000 card. There's a population of less than 30 in the world, so let's hope let's see if I'm successful getting any 10s or maybe just some 8s and 9s and can get close to breaking even. So let's take a look at these 16 now and kind of sort out which ones are worth a better look and if worth sending in for about a $25 grading fee. So this first one, really good centering, left to right, top to bottom. I think this is potentially worth a second look, although to my eye, not perfect, definitely worth a second look. I think some in here, we're just kind of eliminate the ones that are obvious, not good choices. I think, again, this is another one with good eye appeal. Centering looks pretty good all the way around, so let's give it a second look. This one, quite a bit worse centering, left to right. Top to bottom is still pretty good, and I might be seeing a problem with the top right edge here. So I think this one's less likely, but I'll give another look under a magnifying glass. Here we go, first look. No obvious flaws, not perfect centering left to right. I might consider this one, but I think this one's going to be pulled out, not worth it. This one, obvious, terrible centering. You can see there on the right how shortcut it is on the top as well. Otherwise, it's a pretty good looking card. But yeah, this would be one that's not even worth sending in. Again, the alignment's off. The right is pretty tight cut. I don't think this one's worth sending in as either. So this one's obviously way off center, and I'm seeing a corner issue bottom left. So this is probably going to be a no-go. All right, on first look, this one looks to have good eye appeal. Top to bottom is not centered great, but left to right is, and it's aligned nicely. Corners look good. I think give it a second look. This one pretty obvious, pretty tight on the right side. Otherwise a good card. I think we're gonna throw this one out. Again, on the right side and the top, cut pretty tight. Probably not worth it. What I might do is send in the ones I think are pretty close, and based on the grading, if they all come back 10s or even a 9, then I may do a second round where I try to push it a little bit more with the ones that weren't quite as perfect to see if they pick up 8s or 9s. But let's see what the really good ones in this bunch of 16 do first. Yeah, this one's obviously way off center, not great. Otherwise, a nice card. This one, not centered. A little bit better than those last 2 or 3, but I think, yeah, we're looking at one we're probably not going to end up grading, but I'll give it a second look. All right, this one actually has really good eye appeal. Left to right, bottom to top. Top's a little tight, but the left to right centering is really good. I may be seeing something going on in the top left corner, which I'll look under a magnifying glass, see what that corner looks like. But otherwise, the card looks pretty good. All right, this one actually, most of them have been pretty short on the right side. This one's short on the left side and bottom a little bit, but not too bad. Maybe give it a second lick. It's kind of a borderline. This one's not aligned. You can see there's a bigger gap on the top right than there is the bottom right. Otherwise centered pretty good. Let me take a second look at that. And finally, the top's pretty tight. The left's a little bit tighter. Actually, the left and right are pretty good. Give it a second look. So basically, in conclusion, out of the 16, there were only 2 here that just looked really, really, really good. And I'm gonna need to take a second look at most of them, about 10 others, and see if I want to take a chance about a $25 grading fee per card. But we could hit it big with a 10 going for $1,500 to $2,000. We'll see if I can break even on these, or maybe better. So stay tuned. We'll go into the future now to see how they graded. Take care. All right, we've jumped in the future 90 days. I just got the PSA cards back that I submitted, the Darryl Strawberry O-Pee-Chee rookies. So I have all 16 cards here that I originally bought in bulk on eBay for $216. And I ended up, there was 2 that were really good, and I think I found 4 more that I thought were worth grading. So I submitted 6 to PSA, so I still have 10 here that are raw. So we're gonna go through and see if I made any money or not. I bought the original 16 raw for $216. The shipping to PSA was $25, and the PSA grading for the 6 cards was $132. So what we're gonna do to start the value real quick is go through the 10 raw ones. And because I already pre-graded these, none of these raw ones are gonna be like a $30+ card like you see on eBay sometimes. If it looks like, you know, a perfect raw card, then I've seen them sell for $30. What we're gonna do is the better ones, we're gonna value at 20 raw, and then the others, we're just gonna value at $10 raw. So, you know, we're gonna go through them here real quick. So 20, this is more like a 15 in between, but we'll put it in the 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and that's a 20. So that's 40, and then the other 8 is 80, so that's 120. So based on our total cost so far of $375, or about $375, we're down to $254, or they're about $254. So now we're gonna go through the PSA cards, and I have not seen them. I have no idea what the grades are. You know, not to spoil it too much, but I did not get any upcharges. So considering a PSA 10 in this card could be $1,500, $2,000, I would have expected an upcharge. So yeah, I'm not, you know, being 80s, I'm not expecting a 10, and being that I didn't get an upcharge, I am not expecting a 10. So to value these, there's not really a solid liquid market on these, but compared to the regular 84 tops and what have sold in the O-Pee-Chee, I'm gonna put a value of 60 on the PSA 9s and a value of 30 on the PSA 8s. And let's see what we got here. Here's first one. Ooh, 7. Could it start any worse? So, you know, this is gonna be a huge disappointment. have 16 raw cards that I pre-graded, and out of the 16, only 6 met the cut. You know, I mean, looking at it now, I'm not sure what I saw on the card. It must have been the edges and the corners. The left looks a little off-centered, so hopefully this is the worst grade we get. But man, this is not a good start. All right, PSA card number 2. Oh, an 8. So we're one above that. The centering's a little bit better. So we've got an 8 in this one. For the third PSA card, another 7. I'm going to have to go back and look. Now that I'm looking at these, I don't know if in the last 90 days I've gotten better with my pre-grading, but now I'm looking at it. It seems like the right and the top are pretty tight. So I'm not sure what I was seeing 90 days ago unless I was putting more into the surface and the edges. But I'm going to look at the other raw cards after the video and then what these grades and see if I just did a bad job pre-grading. So 7. Okay, PSA card number 4. Back to an 8. So we're alternating 7, 8, 7, 8. And again, just compared to the previous card of a 7, this one's a lot better centered. All right, PSA card number 5, a 5. So this looks like a really well-centered card, so they must have seen something with a corner and an edge for it to go all the way down to a 5. All right, for the last PSA card, things have been brutal. I got an 8. So out of the 6 cards I submitted, I got 3 8s, no 9s, 2 7s, and a 5. So that does not fare very well. $90 on the total for the 8s, maybe $10 on the 7s, so that's $100. So this whole experiment costs all in, I lost $150. But that was a good experience, and just got to see if there's not any potential there for the buying raw cards, and especially the 80s, and then trying to get good grades, or if I just need to get better with my pre-grading. All right, take care.